Sleepy dog. Alright. Make another quick video. Just discussing some of the stuff I have. I guess I'll do it in categories. So, one of the things that got me started doing all this stuff was the Jaboticaba. This guy right here. I got this guy when he was a little stick. And now he's not so much of a stick. I found out about all the different rare fruits by discovering this fruit, and then it's kind of like an addiction. And then you end up with pretty much everything that you could possibly find in the in Brazil, right? Or the surrounding South American areas. And then that expands from there, and you end up with a whole bunch of crazy stuff. And I don't even think I'm that bad compared to most people. But I guess I'll talk about the Jaboticabas, which I didn't get started on these until a couple years ago. This one right here is a red, and they're really cool. They tend to like a little bit of shade, I find. Like being underneath this lanai gives it kind of a little bit of a shade cloth, but they can tend to burn, it seems. But they're really cool. They grow their fruit on the stems, on the trunk, and it can go like all the way down. Like this one here is just, it's flowering down to the base almost, like all around, all the way up to the branches, and they're just really cool. A lot of the Jaboticabas are like that. I have a couple of other varieties that my cats are knocking over, but a lot of the little seedlings here are just seedlings of this red here. So this is like the mother tree to most of the plants you'll see around, but there's a bunch of other species, and this is the Plinia ariana. I've got a couple of these. This is a broncomel. This here is another red, but you can see they're subtly different. Like some of the patterns in the leaves are different. The leaves are longer. They've got different texture. I'm pretty sure if you crushed up the leaves too, they'd have a bit of a different smell, just like a mango. I haven't tried that. I try to keep them looking as nice as possible, although it looks like a bug must have gotten in this one. But there's another here. I've got a scarlet that I got probably earlier this year. I can't remember, but it's similar to the red. So the red's a hybrid between cauliflora and the white, which is the ariana, I believe. And then the scarlet is the red crossed back to this. So I haven't tried a fruit of a scarlet yet, but it's supposed to be a lot sweeter. A little sweeter than the red, but very similar. I haven't experienced it myself, but I know the red, to me, tastes like a grape Jolly Rancher. They're pretty tasty. They've got a seed on the inside and kind of a skin like a muscadine grape, but I find like I can eat the skin of the red. It tastes pretty good to me, but it can be a little astringent. But just kind of going through the row here. This one is a blue Vexator. Now it's not like the other Jaboticabas where it grows on the trunk. Like the fruit will actually grow. When this one flowers, it'll flower kind of along the stem and out. It'll look similar, but it'll just be on the outside. Then I've got an anomaly from Adam at Flying Fox Fruits. I got this off eBay several months ago, I want to say. I can't remember exactly. But this one's actually grafted onto the Sabra. And this is like a species that he had pop up in his yard from, I can't remember where he said he got it from, but he has videos on his channel all about it. And it is very, very vigorous whenever it starts fruiting, and it fruits early. So this is a grafted one. But then I also have a Grimmel over here, which makes very big fruits. They take a long time to fruit too. So I think, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm waiting 10 plus years for some of these things to fruit. But the red and the scarlet, and I think even the Ariana, the white ones, fruit pretty quickly from seed. But yeah, this here isn't a Jaboticaba. This is a Raza. I think it's a Eugenia stipitata. Same family of plants. So all of these are in the same family as like myrtles. I think it's Myrtaceae, right? So they're related to crepe myrtles, guavas, things like that. So they've got some very interesting traits too. Like if I come down here, when they grow, they actually have a really beautiful peeling bark. So this is the Sabra, and it's a really pretty tree. They grow well in pots. I haven't, well, I have some in the ground that I've like directly sown seeds, and it's kind of an experiment. But they grow really well in pots. You just got to keep them moist, keep them acidic, not too high fertilizer it seems, and they do well. I use Adam's method of, for most of the plants I've used his method of, peat, perlite, hollytone. But this red one here, I actually use like the Fox Farm, Frog Farm, or was it Frog soil? And it's doing really well in that. So you could probably get away with that too. But yeah. So, and all these little seedlings here are just little reds. Again, here's the Jaboticaba. I've got some Suriname cherries back here. There's an MB, which I'll do that in another video. And then here's a yellow Jaboticaba. I actually picked this up from Troy's Tropics in Sarasota, and it was pathetic. Like the whole thing was like yellow and green veins and everything. And basically what I did is I took off a lot of the soil from the root ball, repotted up in the peat, moss, perlite, hollytone mix, and then gave it a little hit of chelated iron, and it came back in like 2 months, and now it's just growing like crazy. It's really pretty. They're kind of fuzzy too, but this one will have like a yellow fruit, kind of like the blue where they grow out along the stem. They won't grow on the trunk, but they'll kind of be like in these little nodules. And then I've got a couple more over here. This one's a Cambuca. I don't know exactly how old it is. It's probably like a year old, maybe. I picked this up from someone on the Tropical Fruit Forum. I think it's getting a little bit of sunburn. I'm not sure what that is. But this one makes a really big fruit. I've never tried it before. But it's a very pretty tree. It's very ornamental looking to me. I think it's one of the best looking trees. They just kind of dangle this new growth, and it's just very green and very pretty. But they get big too. So that one will eventually go on the ground, which will be another experiment. But finally over here, you can see I've got some more red seedlings just all over the place. But I've got a Plinia Phitrantha Rosa de Pescoco. So this one is another species of Jaboticaba. You can see again, like the leaf structure is different, kind of wispy and elongated. But this one supposedly has like a pink flesh on the inside. I've not tried it. The only one I've tried is the red, so we'll see how good it is in comparison. But nonetheless, it's a pretty tree, and it's kind of like like Pokemon. You got to collect them all, which that'll never end, which is fine for me because it gives me something to do. But I've got some other ones over here too that I just picked up. I've got a Plinia oblongata, which has like a bigger naped neck fruit. I think this is it right here. No, this is another Plinia Phitrantha. This is the Otto Anderson, so just like the one I just showed you. It's just a different variety of that species, but here's the oblongata. This one actually had kind of a mean taproot on it. I had to cut it out of the pot to pot it up, but yeah. So that's pretty much it. I can go into a bit more detail on some of this stuff later if anyone wants me to show more about a specific plant. Just let me know. But yeah, that's it. Thanks.